All right, what's the word?
Hey, we got to run a resupply mission up Route Whiskey to FOB North.
And then where Echo Team got jacked up last week?
Yeah, big time. And you know what? That's going to be us unless we keep our speed up.
Okay, well, let's get our stuff together again. Turn this thing on. All right, here we go. I gotta slow down, I got a curve coming up.
All right, Rod.
In this week's episode of Then and Now, we'll examine the challenges of finding the right balance in a PDW, or personal defense weapon. Personal defense weapons are intended for close range protection and not protracted gunfights, which makes them ideal for support troops and VIP protective details. When designing or choosing a PDW, you often have to balance between the demands of range, ease of use, and lethality.
During the show, we'll take a look at the evolution of the personal defense weapon, starting with the M1 Carbine, the first purpose-built PDW, and then we'll move through the decades and take a look at one of the latest versions of a purpose-built PDW, the P90.
This is the Beretta M9. It's a fantastic weapon for working in tight quarters, like around a vehicle.
I'm carrying the classic M1911A1 45 ACP service pistol, the most prevalent PDW in World War II. I was carrying it as I come out of the Humvee in condition 3 with a fully loaded 7-round magazine and hammered down on an empty chamber.
The Beretta has good ammunition capacity relative to its size, 15 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber.
I've got a 45 pistol, the enemy's got an RPK, I'm seriously outmatched and in a world of hurt.
Now, when engaging targets at greater distance, this target roughly 40 yards, I've got a short sight radius with a marginal caliber, may not work out so good.
A 15-yard shot on the move with a World War II era 1911A1 is a difficult shot. However, a 60-yard shot against an adversary armed with a G3 for the average soldier is nearly impossible. In this episode of Then and Now, we're going to look at the PDW in the executive protection role. Aaron and I are bodyguards in this particular training scenario where a meeting goes bad.
Gun, gun, gun! Sir, are you okay? Get on my back. In executive protection work, the 1911 would be carried condition 1, round in the chamber, hammer cocked to the rear, thumb safety engaged, commonly referred to as cocked and locked. Good to go, Larry.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Rolling.
Threat!
Aaron, let me take this corner real quick.
Go ahead.
Hold what you got. Threat! Unlike the World War II era M1911A1 pistol, the Beretta has a double action trigger mechanism, meaning the first shot, when you pull the trigger, it cocks the hammer to fire the weapon. Then after that, the hammer's already cocked and you're in single action.
Because of the 1911's relatively small magazine capacity, it's imperative that the user top the gun back off when there's a lull in the action. Ready to go, Larry?
The combat handgun has been the classic weapon for executive protection due to its size and how easy it is to conceal. Ready, Aaron? Ready. Rolling. The Beretta is the easy-to-shoot 9mm pistol, primarily due to its size and its P38 style locking mechanism.
As opposed to the gun Larry just talked about, chambered in 9mm and how easy it was to shoot, this one's a little more difficult to shoot because of its increased recoil and crude set of sights. Let's go, sir, get in.
A force of 700 British soldiers left Boston with orders to find and destroy military supplies stored by the Massachusetts militia. After reaching the town of Concord on the morning of April 19, 1775, a detachment of roughly 90 men was sent to secure the North Bridge. They soon found themselves facing nearly 400 men marching towards the bridge.
With superior numbers, roughly 400 to 90, the Americans decided to advance on the bridge. Ordered by their officers to load their weapons but to not fire unless fired upon, the Americans reached the far side of the bridge where they started to receive fire from the British roughly 50 yards away. If I had been a member of the Minutemen, the factors I would have considered in choosing a weapon would be: number one, reloading speed. Not knowing how long the skirmish was going to last, I'd want the ability to fire, reload quickly, and fire again. Two, accuracy. With the possibility of a limited engagement, I want each of my shots to hit the mark. And lastly, effective range. Going against the most fearsome army in the world at that time, I would want the ability to engage the enemy at distance as opposed to having to get close, risking hand-to-hand combat or facing the British bayonets. If you were there on that day, which of the following three weapons would you choose? A Brown Bess musket, a single-shot musket that was the primary weapon of the British forces at that time. A double-barrel shotgun, used on the frontier for hunting during the colonial period. Or the Kentucky rifle, a rifled musket with a long barrel that was a favorite of frontiersmen.
The Brown Bess musket would be a good choice for any of the Minutemen. Pre-made cartridges allowed for relatively fast reloading, roughly 20 seconds for an experienced shooter. The Brown Bess could also mount a bayonet, which was often a critical tool in the traditional open battle situations of this period.
The Brown Bess certainly had its place on April 19, 1775, but it would not have been my first choice. Its lack of sights and smoothbore barrel made it fairly inaccurate past 45 to 50 yards. Also, at 10 to 11 pounds, the Brown Bess is a heavy gun.
Without knowing in advance what was going to transpire during the march towards the North Bridge, a double-barreled shotgun could offer some unique advantages. It was very effective at close range and provided 2 quick shots without having to reload.
Although the double-barrel shotgun was extremely lethal at close range, it would not have been an effective weapon at the North Bridge. It would have been fairly useless firing at a distance of 50 yards across the river. Plus, it was time-consuming to reload with loose powder and loose shot. The accuracy of the Kentucky rifle would have made it an excellent weapon for picking off British soldiers. However, the Kentucky rifle takes a minute or more to reload, but given an effective range of 200 yards or more, the Minutemen and militia would have been able to engage the British well beyond the reach of their muskets. A bit lighter than the standard musket, the Kentucky rifle with its superior accuracy and effective range would have been my choice at Concord in 1775.
This is the World War II M1 Carbine, the first weapon designed and built as a PDW.
The MP5 is extremely controllable and it's select fire, so it allows me to engage close targets very rapidly. Now, we're dealing with targets further away. Here we go again with a pistol round for a rifle application.
The M1 Carbine is lightweight and easy to shoot. A 15-yard shot on the move is a piece of cake. However, in World War II, there were questions about the M1 Carbine's lethality.
All right, we've changed it up just a little bit. Larry and I have swapped roles, and we've also got different weapons. Larry's going to be using the MP5. I'm going to be using the M1 Carbine.
Gun, gun, gun! Are you okay? Go ahead and stand up, get behind me.
Larry, hold!
Got it.
Although most people don't think of an M1 Carbine as a personal defense weapon, during World War II, it was really the only personal defense weapon available to the average soldier. Larry, hold, I'm going to clear this corner.
Will do.
All right, clear, come on.
Okay, sir, we're moving. The MP5 is one of the most popular weapons ever for executive protection, and it's available in a wide variety of sizes and configurations specifically built for that task. Okay, sir, you ready?
The M1 Carbine truly is a PDW, but it's probably a little bit long for the task. However, it makes up for this by being chambered in a round that's more effective than modern-day PDWs. You ready, Larry?
Ready.
Given that modern personal defensive weapons have upwards of 50 round capacity, the 15 rounds in the M1 Carbine is a little light.
Sir, get in. Although bigger than a handgun, the MP5 has 3 distinct advantages over a combat handgun for executive protection. Number 1, a large 30-round magazine. Number 2, it's select fire, meaning it can fire semi-automatic or fully automatic. And number 3, and most important, it's incredibly easy to shoot. Retaining empty magazines, or even worse, empty cartridge casings from a weapon like a revolver, can be a real dangerous habit in a close-range gunfight. Understand the basic concept is, if you have adversaries within handgun range, roughly 25 meters or so, you need to make sure you keep your focus on the threat area and not worry about meaningless tasks like retaining empty magazines. What that does is you can lose situational awareness on where your adversaries are, and they can maneuver on you, and that can mean the difference between life and death. This training scar originated from range masters who are obsessed with tidy ranges. And also the retention of an empty magazine originated from the tactical reload, where you retain a partially loaded magazine. In the training scenario you're about to see, what we have is a police officer who gets in an armed confrontation at close range. He's going to withdraw out of his vehicle and seek cover at the rear of his vehicle. However, when he needs to reload the first time you see it, he's going to retain his empty magazine, taking his focus away from the threat area and putting his life in danger. Okay, this time around we're going to apply our lessons learned from the first scenario. So instead of retaining an empty magazine during our reload, we're going to get ammunition back into the gun as quickly as possible to try to stay on top of the situation as it develops. Okay, in the scenario you're about to see with the patrol carbine, retaining an empty magazine from a rifle is even more awkward and difficult than with a handgun due to the size and bulk of the magazine itself. So in many ways, this training scar is even more dangerous with a rifle than with a handgun. This scenario highlights the difference between a patrol rifle in law enforcement use and an assault rifle in military use. For instance, in law enforcement use, one magazine in the rifle will generally get the job done. However, in the military, battles could be very protracted, so retaining those empty magazines could become critical in terms of ammunition resupply and reloading. As we have seen, there's a time and a place for retaining your empty magazines. But remember, when you're in a close-range gunfight, priority number one is always going to be to get ammunition back into your weapon and to get back into the fight. The first thing I do, I start scanning my sector. I identify a threat right up here. It's easy to maneuver with a weapon like the P90. It's also very controllable and fully automatic fire, so I'm going to put some bursts on that particular threat. I come down here, I start to receive fire from farther down, approximately 100 yards. I'm going to put some semi-automatic fire on that threat. This weapon's more than accurate enough for a shot like that. Personally, I would like a little bit different optic than this particular one. As I move up, I identify a threat to my right side. I have to engage it on the move. Now I have one more threat here. I take the vehicle as cover and take this shot. I scan my sector looking for any other threats. With a weapon like the P90, it's an easy weapon to maneuver with. You can also put some burst fire on it if necessary. Very easy weapon to shoot and reliable.
As I get out of the vehicle, I see an immediate threat coming over the hood of the car. I'm trying to create distance to put something in between me and him, but I need to engage him. Find my piece of cover. I'm coming up. I see another target. I find a piece of cover. I'm going to engage him. Come down, scan my area, make sure there are no other possible threats. A weapon like the P90 is very easy to shoot. Plus, it's in a caliber that allows me to engage targets farther than I would be able to with a pistol. Gun! Sir, are you okay? All right, get on my back. The P90's bullpup design allows for a short overall length of the weapon, yet maintains a full-length barrel, giving good terminal performance. All right, Larry.
Ready? Okay, I'm rolling.
All right, go.
Threat! Aaron, let me get this corner. Hold what you got.
We're just holding here, sir.
Threat! One of the unique features of the P90 is the helical feed 50-round magazine that fits on top of the weapon. This allows you to shoot for a long time before you have to worry about a reload. All right, Aaron, clear to move.
Okay. We're clear to move? Okay.
Coming in behind you.
Ready.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Let's roll.
All right, sir. You ready to go? We need you ready to get into the car when we get out there.
Yeah, we got to move fast. Remember, the car's right around the corner.
Got it.
Okay, I'm going to lead out.
Okay.
All right, here we go. One of the unique things about the P90 is its bottom ejection, which makes it useful for left-handers as well as right-handers.
right, get in, sir. One of the best features of the P90 is that even though it has a compact size, it's chambered in a round that can still defeat soft body armor.
Aaron, this concept of the PDW really started as we know it in World War II with the 1911. Yeah, that pistol was carried by combat troops as well as rear echelon support troops who wanted to make sure they had a weapon on their hip in both the European and Pacific theater.
Yeah, I think they just took it a step further and they just designed the first PDW from the ground up in the M1 Carbine. And now fast forward to the P90, which is a modern generation PDW, and it's evolved to be even smaller, more ammunition, easier to shoot, and supposedly a better round at distance.
Once again, as in with all those other weapons we just mentioned, you have that big question mark in terms of lethality. When you get in a gunfight, it's great to have a weapon that's easy to maneuver and handy, but a lot of times you want more gun.
The challenge with a PDW is always going to be balancing effectiveness with ease of use. Although the handgun is the most difficult PDW to master, it's probably safe to say it's going to be around for a while.